Hi everyone, this is Fatima. Today we are going to see the topic Lean Startup Method. So, what is a Lean Startup Method? So, it is nothing but build, measure, and learn. And it includes the points that are customers focused approach and reduce risk and waste. So, the lean startup method is a way of building a business by testing ideas quickly instead of spending a lot of time and money on a final product. So, startup creates a basic version, shows it to the customers, collect feedbacks, and improve it based on what they learn. So, for an example, Airbnb started with a simple website where the founders offered air mattresses in their apartment to test whether people would pay for short term accommodations. So, how to identify the problem here? So, firstly, find a real problem, understand customers, and validate the need. So, the first step is understanding what problem customers actually face instead of starting with the product idea. So, entrepreneurs shows that ask what problem I'm solving, who has this problem. So, for example, Uber identified the difficulty of finding convenient transportations and create an easy way to book rides through a phone. So, how to build an MVP? So, it includes a minimum viable product, basic version, and test the core idea. So, an MVP is the simplest version of a product that can be used to test an idea. It doesn't need every feature. The purpose is to launch quickly and see whether the customers are interested. For example, a food delivery startup could initially operate with a simple website and a number of restaurants instead of immediately building a complex applications. How to measure customer response? Collect feedback, track user behavior, and study results. So, after launching MVP, the company measures how customer respond. They can look at usage, reviews, repeat customers, and feedback to understand what is working and what needs to be improved. So, for an example, if 1,000 people download an app but only 100 continue using it, the company needs to understand why users are leaving. How to learn and improve? So, firstly, analyze feedback, fix problems, and improve the product. So, the information collected from customers becomes a learning tool. The startup identifies what customers actually want and improves the product accordingly. So, let's give an example for this. Like Instagram originally had several features, but users showed strong interest in photo sharing. So, the company focused more heavily on the feature. What is pivot or preserve? So, pivot is nothing but change direction, and preserve is nothing but continue the idea. So, decision based on evidence. So, here sometimes testing shows that the original idea isn't working. The startup can either preserve with the existing idea or pivot and change its product, target customer, and business models. So, example, YouTube was initially designed as a video dating website. When the idea didn't work, the founder changed the direction and created the video sharing platform we know today. So, what are all the benefits and the challenges that faced? So, faster innovation, lower cost, reduced risk, and required flexibility. So, the lean startup approach saves time and money because businesses test ideas before making large investments. So, however, it also requires entrepreneurs to accept failure, listen to criticism, and change their plans when necessary. So, an example, a startup may discover that customers don't want its original product instead of continuing to spend money. So, it can use the feedback to develop something more useful. So, to conclusion, we can add the most important points that are start small, test quickly, learn continuously, and build what customers need. So, the lean startup method is about creating a perfect product from the beginning. It is about learning quickly and continuously improving. So, the basic idea is simple: build something, measure the response, learn from customers, and improve. So, this approach helps entrepreneurs turn uncertain ideas into product that solve the real problem. Thank you.